Let's go over the next progression of our Breaststroke 11.1 series sculling drill. In our previous iteration, we used two pieces of equipment. We used the snorkel and then the fins. In this iteration, we're going to be doing this just with the flutter kick with the fins on. So no snorkel is needed. Now, so let's go over the elements and what we look for. When we are doing our kick here, we want to make sure that we are, even though we're not doing a breaststroke kick, we're going to still be using a flutter kick, but we want to deploy all the good habits of the flutter kick that we've been talking to and about up to this point. So what do we look for? We look for a natural, we will still be looking to make sure that we have the great elements here of our flutter kick. So what do we look for? We look for a natural bend in the knee. What does that mean? So let's kind of go over and talk about just some extremes. If we keep the legs straight like this, our athletes are going to be able to kick really, really fast and probably very powerful. However, they're going to give out. So we need some sort of knee bend to be able to help accomplish getting that power with that speed so that everything is in balance. Now, what's too much knee bend? Anything that we kind of say is going to be really approaching 90 degrees of a bend, and here this would be absolutely too much. It would be just kind of kicking air at this point and really not moving at all. Same here kind of holds true when we are looking under the water. If we kind of are drawing these knees inward and having those legs go up and down like this, you're going to make contact with the water. However, it's not going to really be very, very, very fast. So what we want, it just again, is think about that knee bend. So how much or what would we want our athletes to picture? Think about like this. When the foot is in this upward position right here, what we're going to want to do is be able to really think about or have our athlete picture about kicking a ball going downward, and that's got to be a forceful and powerful movement. So the foot is going to end up to a degree being under the body, and then what we want to do is bring it back up so that way we can see these feet here staying up at the surface. We like seeing the turbulence here created at the surface. So kind of the cues that we give our athletes is like, hey, we want you to kind of think about having some white water or some boiling water or thunder kick. Depending on all the cues, it really all means the same thing. We want our athletes having the feet stay at the surface. Want that body here to be up toward on top of the surface of the water. Here, the head will stay tucked in between the arms. We kind of want that to be right also at the surface. When we need to take a breath, we'll talk about that a little bit later when it comes time. And then here it's just with the arms. So all we want to do is just really focus on getting those arms to go out, sweep out, and then when we're ready, what we're going to do is kind of flip those hands and then come back here inward. This is a great sculling drill right here. Beautiful. Now on the outsweep portion, so a couple things we want to think about. Number one, we're only going out to 11 and 1 right there. Want to make sure that the athletes are feeling pressure of the water here along the forearms and the palms or the hands here. And then we want to make sure then just again, we flip those palms out and then come back in. Beautiful job right there. With our kick, we only need probably about a light to moderate kick just to kind of help us to keep moving forward and just work that great scull right there. When our athlete is going to need to take a breath, we're just going to lift up the head and then look back down, getting that head back quickly. A little quicker than that would be actually really great. And just get that head back down and just focus on staying up at the surface there. Great job. So we take a look here, so we'll get a good visual for what we look for in the kick. So see here how both feet are pointed. Great. We'll concentrate here on this foot as it's the one that's going to be going downward. As that's going downward, you kind of see here it's just only going back to a little bit where that body line is. We would want to have our athlete think about, it actually goes, there we go. Actually, you still might be able to get even a little bit deeper than this, but not by much. So we want to be able to have that foot to be a little bit of a level under the body right here, and then get those feet to go back up toward the surface there. So that here we got actually here on this side better view. So kind of see here, we're just only a smidge under the body. We might be able to even go lower to about right here, and then return the foot to go back up so that everything is up at that surface. And then as we look at our return view here, we're just going to look for those same elements. So here, really good strong flutter kick behind us. Just again, it can be nice and moderate. You don't need anything too crazy. Then we look at everything being right pretty much at the surface right here. Head we want to make sure is also nice and steady. Lift the head up when we need to take the breath, and then get that head to then go back down. And then we just perform out sweep. Make sure we're only going to 11 and 1, and then return back in. Out and then in, out and then in. Nothing too fancy here. Just it's all about making sure that we establish the feel of the stroke here. So we're going under the water. We're going to just take a look so we just get a different perspective. Head here is kind of tucked in between the arms. Perfect right there. And then we just kind of focus on that 11 and 1 right there. Return back in. And yeah, this is very simple of a drill. So just make sure you keep working with your athletes on not rushing and moving those arms as fast as possible. So we want to kind of have some pauses in between those arms, so because it's a sculling movement. Overall, if you found some great value out of this, be sure to drop a like and subscribe.